Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming. We've got quite a full house, which we weren't expecting, which is lovely. We're here to talk to you today about London's hottest new venue openings. I'm Kimberly, I'm the Sales Director for Venue Search London, and it's my pleasure to introduce my wonderful team. We've got Arabella, Claire, Sophie, Eve, and Poppy. So, I'll start today by just going through some key findings from the London Summer Event Survey. So the London Summer Event Survey was carried out via an online questionnaire from our Venue Search London website and also the London Summer Event Show websites in December just gone. The results are based on responses from 290 corporate buyers and their reports on their purchasing of internal staff summer events in 2018 and their plans for what they're going to do for 2019. So we'll start by looking at the spend per head. So this graph here shows us that we've got 34% of buyers that are managing to get a party for under £60 per head. So no matter what the budget is, we can always find something. And then you do also have a significant amount of people that are still spending over 100, up to budgets of over £140 per head. In terms of the venue type used in 2018, you can see that the majority is actually moving over to bar, restaurants and clubs, showing that there's really a demand for a more informal style setup. So you do still have people using hotels and conference venues, historic venues, but generally people are looking for, a more relaxed vibe. In terms of the day of the week, again, there's no surprise here, but 48% of people like to hold their events on a Thursday. We find Fridays people are put off because they don't want to go into their own personal time, which is fair enough, if you ask me. So the earlier weekdays, the Mondays, Tuesdays and weekend days, if you are conscious of a budget, often the venues are able to be flexible with you on those days. So it is something to bear in mind. In terms of the time of day the event was held, again, predominantly with 60% would be evening events, but we are finding that an increasing amount of people are looking to move the event slightly earlier and have a portion of their event in the day as well and moving on to the evening. In terms of the catering style for last year, this is aligned with the findings in terms of the venue style, with 61% of people opting for a buffet or bowl food option, as opposed to a seated lunch or dinner, where you're looking at just 21%. So we asked people, did you have any of the following content during your 2018 event? So that would be, we asked about conferences, overnight accommodation, internal awards, or external activities, and add on something like golf or table tennis or just an activity. And we have found that an increasing amount of people are wanting to add an activity, so it's not just simply based around the food and drink. And then we look forward to what people are looking for 2019, and we found that the summer event demand appears to remain strong. So 66% of companies have said that they would be looking to host an event for 2019. And then 28% of the people that didn't confirm that said they're still looking to decide, so most likely that they will. And in terms of when to get planning for what month you want to hold your event in, again, it's not a surprise. So 42% of the events are held in July, a strong amount in June and August, but people are moving them slightly earlier or slightly later as well. And then in terms of when to get your event booked up, you can see that actually 11% of people have already booked in their summer event. And then actually January and February, despite the snow condition weather warnings, is the time that people book their summer event. So, it's a good time to start looking. And then just finally, in terms of the budget anticipated, we found that most companies have said that actually their budget will remain similar to what they were last year. They've said that we require some buyers to look at alternative venues in terms of dates, etc., because some venues have increased their prices. So we need to just be conscious there that if the budgets aren't going up as well, we need to be more flexible with our offering. So that's the results from me, and now the exciting part. The girls are going to talk you through some of the hottest openings. So over to you guys.
Okay, so Magazine is opening in summer 2019. It's going to be located in Greenwich, and it has a maximum capacity of 10,000 stand-in. I think Magazine is probably one of the most anticipated openings of 2019. It's a very raw, contemporary warehouse vibe. It sits just a few minutes walk from North Greenwich Station. It has a huge outside area, so the actual inside can take 3,000 stand-in and then an additional 7,000 on the outside area. For a sit-down dinner, they can do 1,340, and then if you include the mezzanine, which overlooks the main area, then it would be 1,520. It's going to be a really big competitor to the likes of Battersea and Guildhall. It's going to be great for big awards ceremonies, exhibitions, huge events. It has really beautiful river views, which is obviously an amazing add-on for anyone who has a conference. And it also has a skyline view of Canary Wharf, so it's a really big one to look out for in the summer.
In complete contrast, this is far more historic and way less raw. It's half hour from London at Alexandra Palace, and it can take 1,300 standing and 900 seated, so great for the big numbers. It's the oldest theatre in London, and it has just been lovingly restored. It opened on the 1st of December last year. It's set in the Grade 2 listed building in 196 acres, so really good to add on maybe for the awards at the end of your conference or in conjunction with other event spaces. It's actually received the largest grant for a heritage site from the National Lottery, and they got £18.8 million given to them to help with the restoration, and that was combined with their own funding, which was 27 million. This has completely the wow factor, as you can see, and adds a story to any event. I think the fact that it's got the built-in stage and everything, we always find AV can really creep up and go over budget. This has everything included, so it could be great to really cut down on cost.
Okay, so we've got few sketchy details. The Manhattan Loft Gardens Design Hotel, a bit of a long name. They are going to change it. So it's a new building. It's located in Stratford, and it's going to have, it's a bit of a hybrid. So there's going to be a lot of different spaces within the building. So the capacities are still to be confirmed. It's due to open in spring. However, there hasn't been a date confirmed, so it is likely to be pushed back, as most new openings are. It's going to include a 145-room hotel, which is called The Stratford. As you can see, if anyone's seen kind of Ace Hotel or Nobu Hotel, things like that, it's going to be very kind of Shoreditchy, very kind of bare, lots of greys, lots of whites. Kind of edgy is what they're going for. They're also within the building going to have 4 large event spaces. Again, the capacities are not yet confirmed, but they're going to have panoramic windows, so they're all going to have absolutely amazing views, and they'll be amazing for summer parties and conferences as well. They're going to have 3 sky gardens, which is very exciting because there's not enough rooftops yet in London. And so it's going to be a mix. We're going to have a restaurant with its own garden on the 7th floor. There's going to be a sheltered space a little higher on the 25th floor. And then there's going to be an urban retreat on the 36th floor. Again, details are still to be confirmed. This is all we know at the moment. But as soon as we know more, we're going to put it in our newsletter, so keep an eye out.
Yeah, and sorry, with the photos, we'll share more detailed photos when we also get hold of those.
So Lascar is located in Holborn. It's recently opened. It has a beautiful main space. This picture here is the library. And then this space here is the Baptiste room, which holds 150. So it's perfect for your drink reception, and they can also do a seated dinner. The venue itself is a listed Edwardian building. There's lots of beautiful history facts around the space. One of my favourite is that it was once the UK headquarters of the Baptist Church, which is quite unusual when you're drinking cocktails. It offers stunning interiors throughout the space. They have a select amount of boutique bedrooms and suites. It is very exclusive. There have been a few celebrity spots in there as well. It is a beautiful space for any sort of corporate opportunity that you might have, something maybe a bit different, smaller, tailored to not the everyday.
Me again. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so we've got the Vintry and Mercer Hotel. This is going to be a boutique hotel. It's located just a couple of minutes walk from Aldgate Station and Aldgate East. Small spaces, so it's going to be slightly better for kind of boardroom meetings, private dinners, maybe some intimate drinks receptions, but nothing too huge. It's opening on the 4th of February, and that is the set date, so I have every confidence that that is going to happen. And it's going to have 3 small event spaces, so maximum is going to be 26 seated for a dinner and 55 standing for a reception. You're going to have the library, which then leads into the drawing room, so you can take them either separately or combined if you'd like a reception followed by a dinner. And then they have a much smaller room called the music room, which I believe is this one here, actually. It's got a gorgeous map of the world on the ceiling. And it's they're saying that around the walls, they're going to have lots of kind of old vinyl discs, and you're going to be able to choose to play any one of them on the wall. So they'll take them off and play, which is quite a nice little personal touch added on. It's also, as you can see, it's going for a bit of the style of the Ned. It's going to be very British. There's going to be lots of bold colours and sort of a mix of contemporary and a little bit old-fashioned. They are planning on being as sustainable as possible as well. So they're going to run on 100% renewable electricity, wind and solar power, which is very exciting. So yeah, look out for that, and hopefully we'll be visiting soon, and then we'll write about it.
Soho Residence. So this is located in Soho. It recently opened, and it has a max capacity of 350. The venue is quite an iconic building in Soho. It was originally the Blue and Skiffle Club, and then most recently it was O-Bar, and it's just undergone a £1 million refurbishment. It is set over 3 floors. So there's the gin parlour, which can take 60 guests. This is actually a room which is full of light, and they said it's perfect for a small meeting. They have screens in there, so it's a perfect little setup if you wanted to have a small meeting, then maybe go on to a drinks reception later on in the evening. Then there is the Botanical Garden. This is the main bar area. This takes 140 stand-in. It's lots of foliage. It's bright area. It's really beautiful. And then finally we have the Festival Club. That's downstairs. I think it's open till 4 or 5 a.m. Wonderful for the summer parties. And that can take 150 stand-in. It's just down the road from us, so I'm sure it's going to become our local at wine time. Great.
Perfect. So this is part of Bourne and Hollingworth. They've just opened on the top of the Assembly Hotel, which is on Charing Cross Road in the West End. You don't actually have to go through the hotel lobby. There's lifts downstairs. You go straight to the top, right up. It's, I would say, more suited for breakfasts and lunches. The Westminster Council are very tricky on new venues, and they really flex their muscles. So they have these amazing doors that they do want to open, but currently they've got to wait till they've been open a few months, but they think they are working with them. There is a private little terrace for smokers, which is great, so you don't have to go down, you don't lose anyone. It can do 100 seated, and if you know the Boarding Hollingworth brand, it's very Instagrammable, lots of like Scandinavian foliage, very young and hip. I hate that word. I don't know why I said hip, I regret it. But yeah, it was really cool, all candles, and we were really, really impressed. So yeah, okay, stop me.
So the Parrot actually opened towards the end of last year. It's a bar located within the Hilton Waldorf in the West End. It has a maximum capacity of 60. It's a collaboration with Idris Elba. It's offering cocktails, food and live music most evenings. It's one of the first bars in London to have a luxury partnership with Aston Martin. So they've got a little deal where they can transport your guests in luxury cars. It is available for private hire in most evenings during the week. They don't do it on a Friday or a Saturday. Each of the cocktails on the menu is based on an individual selected parrot. And yeah, I think it would be really, really good for a standing reception.
They're going to get stolen, aren't they?
So the Natural History Museum is a venue that we all know, I'm sure I've been in at some point. So this summer they are opening a brand new space, which is one of my favourite to talk about. It's called the Museum of the Moon. It's located in South Kensington, as you will probably already know, and it opens May through to September. And it can hold 300 seated. It also works wonderful as just a standing drinks reception. And what I quite like about the venue is that they're really open to entertainment add-ons, and you can they've got no restrictions on bringing that in, which is lovely. It's an exclusive opportunity to host your event under the art installation. So there really isn't anything else that could beat this at the moment. And this has been designed by Luke Geron, he's called, an artist. The Museum of the Moon is, as you can see, an art installation. It does feature NASA imagery to recreate the moon's surface. The space will be perfect for event theming and creates a beautiful atmosphere already with the moon's natural glow. So it is kind of already set up for you, ready to enjoy.
Tonight, Josephine is located in Shoreditch, and it can take 150 capacity stand-in. So this is the sister of the obviously well-known Tonight Josephine in Waterloo. They recently opened in Hoxton Square. The venue can be privately hired based on a minimum spend only, which is wonderful. It's part of the Adventure Group. They have lots of really cool bars, Bar Elba, which is in Waterloo as well, I think, Escapeologist, Adventure Bar. Really cool, fun venues. It's really Instagrammable. It's great for maybe product launches, just small receptions, networking events. It's a really cool space.
Okay, so I lied a little bit. Vintry and Mercer is actually based a couple of minutes from Monument. And this one is a couple of minutes from Aldgate. So events at number 6. It's a brand new venue. It's literally opened as of last week, so it's only just started taking bookings, and they haven't yet got official photos. But from what I understand, the artist impressions are very close to the final product. It's in the same building as the Royal College of Pathologists, so that might also be how you hear about it. They've got their main room, the Elizabeth Room, which can take up to 200 people theatre style. And then they've got a roof terrace as well. At the moment, the maximum capacity is 60 standing. This is just due to kind of licence and fire safety. But as they've just opened, they're kind of going to give it a couple of months and see if they can extend that, because there is space for more people. They're just not physically allowed them at the moment. And again, it's going to be another very sustainable venue. They're looking to become zero waste to landfill. They actually recycle, or they're going to recycle their coffee beans used in the refreshment breaks and incorporate them into all of their recipes for their lunches and dinners. As well as reusing all equipment and only using local produce. So it's going to be a real kind of staple of London, I think.
So the Standard London is in King's Cross, will be in King's Cross, just opposite from St Pancras. It's opening spring 2019. They haven't set a date yet, which is quite safe because they never meet them anyway, so better just give yourself a bit of a 3-month window. It's actually a US brand. They're in LA, Miami, New York, and they have 2 others in America. I've been on the website because at the moment they've only released that they're going to have 266 bedrooms, but as most venues are listed in London, they're not going to be really able to change the configuration of the walls. However, they've kept everything else hush-hush, but it's a lifestyle brand. They have blogs. They have said there's going to be an emphasis on the culinary program, so they've announced 2 chefs that they're going to be working with. So I think around that will be the main focus. I think it's just exciting for King's Cross, to be honest. You know, Google are expanding their offices. There's big brands there. There's Central St Martin's. There's Granary Square. King's Cross is becoming a hub, and these guys think that they can add something and are really going to help bring a different vibe and keep it cool and quirky to, I guess, contest Shoreditch, and I think King's Cross is the new place to watch. So with the Coal Yard, I think this is a really, really exciting new thing for King's Cross. Great.
120 Fenchurch Street is going to be located in the city with a maximum capacity of 200. It's going to be opened by D&D, one of their new luxury restaurants. This is actually the Den. They haven't released too much information yet, so this is part of 100 Wardour Street. You probably know Quaglino's and many other of their venues. 120 Fenchurch Street will join the collection. It's going to operate just below the Sky Garden. This is what they've got, what it's going to look like so far. It as I said, it is going to have a maximum capacity of 200, and it's also going to have a private dining room of around 20.
So the Richmond Hill Hotel is located in Richmond. It sits overlooking Richmond Park. It's newly refurbished. It's undergone a 6.7 million refurb. It holds about 16 private spaces. Their largest space is 180. So it's a very traditional venue, as you can see. It's probably going to work really well for off-site events. I think definitely sort of international clients, because it really pushes the sort of British accommodation, afternoon tea. You can, enjoy Richmond Park and the river. They've also got a golf course nearby. So yeah, perfect for off-site opportunities for corporate parties. They're also really putting forward their green initiatives as well, which is really important as we're here for sustainable venues. They've got some energy saving systems like light dimmers, and low energy lighting has been installed throughout the bedrooms. It's grade 2 listed, and I quite like this because obviously the windows are so beautiful, but they've been able to keep those in place and put in heat protectors so that you don't have to use too much energy as well. So yeah, it's nice that they've kept their traditional style, but also with a modern touch.
So ETC Harenstitch is opening on the 1st of April. It will have a capacity of 500 in Cabaret. It's in between Aldgate, equidistant to Aldgate and Liverpool Street, so that's kind of where it is in the city. I think this is a massive add-on to the city. I mean, anyone in this room who's tried to organise a conference, 500 Cabaret is a tall ask if the livery halls don't fit and then you have to come into the West End or farther afield. So here's your answer. And if you've booked conferences, you'll probably know Etc. Venues. They're renowned for their good service, amazing food. We use them all the time and we get glowing feedback. AV's included, amazing packages, and it's been built now, so it's purpose-built. They know what people need from their conferences and they're giving that to you. So yeah, 1st of April. It's the 14th ETC venue in London. I didn't actually know there was that many, which isn't that good. But yeah, there's 14 and there's 16 over nationwide. But yeah, there's 8 breakouts, purpose-built. I think this is exactly what the city was needing, and I think more will follow suit.
Box Park Wembley, which is in Wembley, just across from the stadium. It just recently opened, and it has a maximum capacity of 2,500. Wembley, I don't think, was always the most aesthetically pleasing place to be, but a huge amount of money has been pumped in to the area over the last 4 years. There's a new outlet, there's a new Hilton, the SSE Arena has been refurbished, there's loads of houses popping up all over the place. So they are really trying to make it somewhere to be, and I actually read that they're trying to, get it in for the London Borough of Culture for 2020, so watch this space. Box Park Wembley is the largest of their 3 sites. If you're familiar with Shoreditch and Croydon, you will also know that they are kind of inside-outside. This is the first entirely indoor venue, which is great because the British summer isn't always welcoming. Yeah. They have, obviously, Wembley has been taking over the NFL games, and so they've rightly so made a fan zone within the space. I know Story done an event for a fan zone recently, and I know that it's kind of becoming really more popular with corporates and US clients. So it's a really cool space. There's loads of room, great for pop-ups. And it has a car park, which is wonderful.
Amazing. So we've got just a few more venues to share with you on the theming of the London Summer Event Show as it's sustainable venues. The following venues we're going to talk to you about aren't necessarily brand new, but they are all sustainable and doing their part for the environment.
So King's Place is located in King's Cross and has a maximum capacity of 400. Some of their rooms have actually just undergone a renovation. It's an environmentally focused building. It has a wide range of options for hire. It has 2 auditoriums, a canal-side banqueting room with a private terrace, 2 private dining rooms, art galleries, and many more smaller spaces. They incorporate quite a lot of sustainable ways within their venue, including zero waste targets, biodegradable disposables, and healthy eating. Just one of the many things that they do when creating the building, the oak in their main auditorium shown up here, It was made from one single source tree, and they ensured to replant enough trees to recover the wood that they used. We actually went here for lunch a couple of weeks ago, and the food is amazing. They have their own farm, and yeah, it was just incredible.
So Cavendish Conference Centre is located in Westminster, so very central. It holds a maximum capacity of 250 theatre style, and within that, additional spaces for breakout. On multiple occasions, it has been voted best conference venue customer service, which brings you confidence, obviously, when you are looking at so many options that we are lucky to have. Cavendish Conference Centre has been proactive since 1985, so they've been setting the trend before, which is great to know. They've been acting as a sustainable venue in many ways. For example, in 2019, the venue has introduced a bespoke carbon calculator, which I've actually quite enjoyed looking into, because it can show you just little ways that you can look at your event and how tiny little changes can make you a bit more aware of what you're planning and what's going into the environment, of course. As I said, that is just a way that they are putting forward their planning for you to look into it, and encouraging opportunities as well. It's a great space for 2019.
So the Crystal, some of you might know about. It is located in the Docklands. It's a very iconic looking building, suits its name to a T. The reason they actually called it the Crystal was because anywhere in the building you can see natural daylight. So you're never boxed away, you're never shoved away. It makes the absolute most of the sun and the way it falls. And so it is completely powered, by solar energy and wind energy. Their electricity bill and heating bill each year is actually zero. So they do not pay for this at all. It was launched in 2012 to coincide with the Olympics and the opening of the cable car, which is one way you can get there, by the way. It's got an amazing theatre inside, in the middle of the room. That is obviously dark. There's no daylight in the theatre. But it's great for presentations, and then a great place to then spread out into a drinks reception. They've got a fabulous exhibition hall that they call The Street, and it's already filled with very interactive stands and stalls, all sorts of things for people to do, see, watch, to do with sustainable cities and the future of our technology. So it's got 14 spaces in total, and award-winning catering. So it's a little bit further out, but it is such a great location. There are loads of really easy ways to get there, so I would consider it for next year.
So that's the end of the new venues. We hope you found some interesting points there. We at Venue Search London, we're always here, happy to help with any inquiries that you might have. Whether it's inspiration for event, whether you need a lot of support on event. So please do get in touch if we can be of any assistance at all. And we hope you enjoyed the seminar.